This is your latest football transfer news, and it's an early one today because there is two big stories involving Arsenal landing this morning. One involving the price for Bruno Guimaraes as he signs, here we go, for Arsenal, but also Vinicius Jr. Big update. Now, I'm very sceptical about this deal, but I can only go on the information I get. We've had some very good information around Real Madrid, Man United, Tchouaméni, Kone this summer. Vinicius Jr, if this lands, then it will be massive. So we will talk about Vinicius Jr, but I'm getting percentages of over 60% that he signs for Arsenal. There is a kicker to that. I will give you that information. Basically, Vinicius Jr right now, as of yesterday, as of last night, hasn't got the offer from Real Madrid that Arsenal are willing to pay. So ultimately, the chances of him going to Arsenal, as of this morning, are more than him staying for Real Madrid. Now, there is an expectation that Florentino Perez may cave in and give the money that Vinicius Jr wants. But as of this morning, Arsenal's confidence in getting this incredible, super duper, magnificent deal done, it would be amazing for Vinicius Jr to be a Premier League player for Arsenal. At this moment in time, it is more Arsenal than it is Real Madrid because Arsenal have got the offer on the table that Vinicius Jr would accept and Real Madrid haven't done it as of this moment. So you bring into the equation what happened last season between Benfica and Real Madrid and Mourinho and Vinicius Jr and the fact that, you know, there needs to be something. There is a contract that I believe is up next year or the year after. So there needs to be a new contract for Vinny J. And Arsenal are there waiting to pull off probably one of the biggest deals in Premier League history. So keep an eye on that. I'll put my hands up. I've always been very sceptical. I keep saying to you, I feel like in the 5 strands of a transfer, the strand this one is Vinicius Jr using Arsenal to get a better deal out of Real Madrid. And maybe that will come to pass. But I can only go off what I'm told, and from very good sources very close to this situation, as of last night and probably right now, Arsenal have the better offer on the table and Real Madrid aren't matching it. Now, they've got to match it or something's going to happen because, as we know, these players are now heading towards, well, not even pre-season, the start of the season. So keep your eyes peeled on that one. Vinny J to Arsenal, as of this morning, is still, I would say, north of a 50% chance. Real Madrid hold the cards. But will they write the check? The big thing is Mourinho that obsessed with that? I still do think when you look at Real Madrid, Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius Jr, sometimes like PSG when they had Mbappe, Neymar and Messi, amazing players individually, but collectively you're sometimes better going, I need a better front three. And I think that maybe Mourinho will look at that with Real Madrid as well. So keep an eye on that one. Big news, big day. I think Arsenal fans dare to dream. And ultimately, if you don't get him, was there ever a problem anyway? Fair play for your club showing that ambition. So let's see what happens with that. I would say north of 60% chance that Arsenal get Vinicius Jr as of this morning. But the kicker is, will Real Madrid respond and give Vinny J the offer that he wants and make him make a decision where he probably would stay in Madrid? We will see. As for Bruno Guimaraes, obviously we did the video yesterday. We know it's a done deal, but we do now know the fee, and it's £75 million. Now, some people have been saying Bruno Guimaraes to Arsenal for £75 million is a bit heavy. It's a bit over the top. It's very expensive. I would say that I think that with regards to that sort of a price, who are you listening to? Who is it that you're actually listening to? I mean, ultimately, football's always been about what people are willing to pay to get what they want. 15 million for Alan Shearer was ridiculous money back in 96. 3.6 million pounds for Roy Keane was a British transfer record in 93. 116 million pounds for Morgan Rogers is incredible. So it's always going to be about what you're willing to pay. And I think that, look, I saw a few United fans saying £75 million for Bruno Guimaraes is ridiculous. I'd rather be ridiculous than be in our situation. So I think ultimately it's a seller's market. We saw that with Elliot Anderson. We saw it with Mateus Fernandes. Mateus Fernandes, for me, is a good player. I would have thought 60 to 65 million, goes for 85. Morgan Rogers is a good player. I would have thought 90 million, goes for 116. Same with Elliot Anderson. I would have thought maybe 90, 100, probably 100 when you think about Declan Rice, goes for 115. So everybody is about 15 to 20 million pounds overpriced this summer. Or, well, not even overpriced, the price is. So realistically, Bruno Guimaraes, 60 million, goes for 75 in this market. It's probably about right. And ultimately, can Arsenal afford it? Yes. Arsenal, of course they can bloody afford it. And would you want, as Arsenal fan, for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal to walk away from Bruno Guimaraes because of 15 million quid. I wouldn't. Is this the player you want? Yes. Is there an alternative available for 60 that's the same? No. Do we walk away for 15 million? No. Do we get the deal done and move on? Yes. So I just think the people who say, look, I find it fascinating that people say Bruno Guimaraes is overpriced. Why is he overpriced? And if he is, so what? Is it the player Arsenal want? Yes. Are they paying £100 million? No. Is it a good deal for Newcastle? Yes. Is it the player Arsenal want? Yes. Is it a player that's going to improve Arsenal's midfield? Yes. There is no overpriced. There is a price, and you pay it or you don't. And we've seen a lot of clubs in the Premier League this summer paying those prices. Some of them very surprisingly when you think about Chelsea and Spurs when they're not even in Europe. But Arsenal are in Europe every year. They're in the Champions League final last year, semi-final the year before, Premier League winners. This is nothing to them to go and get a player that they really, really, really want. So I don't think 75 million's north of what I would value him, but every single player that's moved in the Premier League this summer is about 15 to 20 million pounds north. So that's the price. You either you pay or you fall away. And I don't think Arsenal are in a situation where it's going to destroy them to pay that little bit extra. But look, as I said, where Arsenal go next, I mean, I do think Bruno Guimaraes is a huge signing for them. I think Arsenal are the favourites. But I did put a post out on my Instagram threads yesterday about Man City, and I don't think Man City are done yet. And I do think people are sleeping on Man City. I mean, Pep Guardiola is a fantastic coach. And if Arsenal get Vinicius Jr as well as Bruno Guimaraes, you're adding two amazing players to the best team in the league. So they would be hot favourites to win the league. Of course they would. But I feel like if Maresca can start well, what he's doing at Man City is quite interesting. I mentioned Pedro Neto about 3 days ago. Romano mentioned him last night. So that was good info. And I think Pedro Neto is a steady winger that will do defensive work, put crosses in, pop up with the odd goal. The sort of player Maresca loves. And that improves Man City. Away from the flair of Doku and Semenyo, I think you get a more steady winger. Obviously, they've brought in Elliot Anderson, who I think will be very, very good. It's interesting to see what's going to happen with Rodri, but they'll bring somebody else in as well. They still have got the likes of Erling Haaland, Donnarumma in goal, Guéhi, Semenyo. John Stones is obviously left, but they'll bring in, they've still got people like